Bloody hell. Here we go. The Albanese government has just pulled the biggest political con job we've seen in decades, and no one's talking about it straight. The super tax bombshell, mate. It's not just about billionaires and their gold-plated golf clubs. This thing is a ticking time bomb that's going to hit way more Aussies than they're admitting. And the worst part? Elbow and his mob are laughing about it in Parliament like they've just pulled a cheeky prank at the pub. This isn't a joke, it's a slap in the face to hard-working Australians, plain and simple. Before we dive headfirst into this Albanese superannuation scam, where your future wealth gets taxed before you even see it, let's get one thing straight. This is a calculated assault on anyone who dares to build something for themselves. Yet, Elbow's treating it like stand-up comedy while the opposition goes missing in action. On paper, this new superannuation tax is aimed at people with more than $3 million in their accounts. Sounds fair, right? Who the hell has $3 million sitting in their super anyway? Only the rich, yeah? That's exactly what they want you to think. But here's the catch they're hiding in fine print. This tax isn't just on money you've earned. It's on unrealized gains. That means you're getting taxed on money you haven't even made yet. Your property goes up in value. Taxed. Your farm's worth more on paper. Taxed. Even if you never sell it, they're coming for a slice. And if you reckon this only affects rich folks in Toorak or Vaucluse, think again. Regional Aussies who've owned land for generations, farmers, tradies, small business owners, people who've slogged their guts out and saved responsibly, are waking up to find themselves over the magic number. Not because they're rich, but because inflation and property prices push them there. And now they're copping a 30% tax for the privilege of being responsible. What a bloody disgrace. But the dodginess doesn't end there. Every time someone in Parliament asks, how many people is this actually going to affect? Or what happens when small businesses are forced to sell assets to pay this tax? The government clams up. Dead silent. Or worse, they smirk like we're all peasants who should be grateful for whatever crumbs they toss down from Canberra. It's either arrogance or incompetence, take your pick. And then there's Anthony Albanese himself. The bloke's grinning in question time like he's cracked the Da Vinci Code. Laughing off legit concerns about the economy, cost of living, unemployment, and this bloody tax, while the media gives him a free pass. You'd think the leader of the country would be held accountable, especially with inflation through the roof and families choosing between rent and dinner. But nah, he's sitting back like he's just won trivia night at the local RSL. Let's call this what it is, a punishment for success. The government's run out of cash. They blew through billions on handouts, pork barreling, and climate initiatives no one voted for. Now they're raiding your retirement fund to plug the hole. And if you think they'll stop at $3 million, you're dreaming. Once they normalize taxing unrealized assets, they'll keep lowering the bar. Soon enough, even the average bloke with a decent nest egg will be in their sights. And where's the opposition in all of this? You'd think they'd be out for blood, right? Wrong. They've thrown a few soft jabs in Parliament, but it's landed weaker than a wet handshake. Susan Ley asked a couple of questions about housing, then moved on. What happened to the fire? What happened to the fight? The government handed them a golden opportunity to go after the cost of living crisis, housing shortages, rising unemployment, and interest rates, but they're too busy fumbling around to land a proper punch. Meanwhile, the crossbench is stepping up. The Teals and Independents are the ones asking the spicy questions while the actual opposition gets shunted to the side. And the government's loving it, turning Parliament into a puppet show while the media claps along like trained seals. Let's talk cost of living. Rent's up. Fuel's through the roof. Groceries. You can't buy a carton of eggs without taking out a loan. And yet, here's our government, obsessed with taxing retirement savings instead of fixing the bleeding obvious. Families are lining up at food banks, people are getting kicked out of rentals, and the government's flexing about tax revenue projections like it's a badge of honor. What planet are these people on? If you think this tax is the end of it, you're painfully naive. Once they've got their claws into super, they'll come for everything else. Your home, your car, your bank account, it's all fair game. All they need is a manufactured crisis and some slick PR, and suddenly you're the villain for owning your own ute. Most Aussies will just cop it. We whinge over beers, but when the government comes knocking, we roll over. Not this time. This tax sets a dangerous precedent. If they can tax wealth that doesn't even exist yet, nothing is sacred. Not your savings, not your super, not your future. So what now? You've got two choices. Sit back and hope it all blows over or get up and make noise. Write to your MP, fire up your mates, and call out this garbage for what it is. Because if this tax goes through without a fight, it's open season on everything you've worked for. And for anyone still clinging to the idea that this is a good policy, wake up. This is how they get you, sell you snake oil, tell you it's medicine, and before you know it, your wallet's empty. Elbows laughing now, sure. But let's see how long that smirk lasts when Aussies finally realize they've been played for fools. The question is, will you stand up or sit back and watch it burn?